You've reached call in Mockery.
We salute our loyal listeners as we do every week. Without a doubt, we never miss a week and we never will. This is Colin Mockery. And while you're listening to this, we hope that you've made yourself, you've brewed a tea.
Brew a tea so that you can drink the brew while you listen to the sim.
Why do we steep stuff? You know?
Who was the first? Okay, this is a funny premise for a stand-up comedian. And we're not going to talk about stand-up comedians again. We can't go down that road again.
Too much last week.
Too much. But that's a good premise for a comedian, a stand-up comedian. You're like, who's the freak that was like, what if I put grass in hot water?
And just let it sit there, and then I take it out, but leave the water, and they go, but wait, and they go, and then someone's going, yeah, and you eat the grass, and he goes, no, you drink the water.
Drink the water, grass ain't for eating.
This reminds me of a comment I saw on Facebook the other day, not the one I told you about before we recorded, but there was a story, some post, and a guy goes, just because I'll probably never get around to writing it, here's my idea for the movie for this. Like giving it away to people and like nothing from anyone. Because I read it and I was like, yeah, that's kind of the article or whatever. He's like, guy loses his horse,
Yeah.
Like guy loses his horse, he goes to drink water, he finds his horse down at the river, and he's like, you can lead a horse to just some stupid. He's like, just because I'll never get around to
writing.
But here's my
a
genius
movie
idea. Yeah,
movie.
And you're like, oh man, you could have written that movie,
and they would have made it. It's as simple as that. You write it, they make it.
But I guess I'll give it away for free. So you really think if you wrote it, you'd make it, you'd have $1 million now? Because that's what happens. You write it, you make it, you get $1 million.
You get $1 million.
So he's like, I'll just get this one's on me.
This one's on me. The next one, well, of course, you have to write at least 10,000 Facebook comments before you make the perfect Facebook comment. It's the old Malcolm Gladwell.
Yeah,
that's him, right?
Yeah, he was right. He was like on the Epstein plane. He's like, what's a good thing to? He's like a little lower, a little to the left. What's a good? Oh, right there. Yeah. What's a good thing that I can put in a book that sounds real? Oh yeah. For every 10,000 books you write, one gets sold. That's how he gets. That's how he stays on the bestseller list. He's telling everyone else to write 10,000 books that'll never get published.
Yeah.
Don't even send them anywhere.
And meanwhile, James Patterson didn't get the memo. He's publishing every single one of them.
He's hiring people to write for him.
Can you help me finish this freaking thing? Alex Cross can only do so many cases. NYPD Blue 4. What? NYPD Red 6. At least come up with a title. You can't just... They're not freaking movies.
Oh my goodness. This is the call. This is the show where you call and we mock 319-HAD-WIP-1, HADWIP1, or if you're a GAD fan, make it GAD. We don't care. Just know that we are sipping on our liquid deaths. I've got a new one. It's called Convicted Melon.
Me, unbelievable.
Yeah, you Tarzan. Wait, you Tarzan me, Jane. Look at these. Looks in the mirror. He's got coconut brassiere on.
You've opened my mind to a few things.
Nova. If something can't talk, like if you can't look at a dog and just be like, peanut butter. The dog's gonna be like, peanut butter.
They don't get that.
They don't get it. They don't know why you say Nova.
But Taylor doesn't get it.
Oh.
Because he sees a human. He don't know she
He should. He's a man of science. That's right, everyone. I watched all 5 of the original Planet of the Apes films like Landon did.
Yeah.
We like apes. We like apes. We like apes. 3 for fun. And I gotta watch the Burton. Did you watch the Burton?
No.
Guy I work with watched the Burton.
Watched the Burton.
And he explained it to me, and I said, this is why I was confused as all hell in 3rd grade.
Yeah. It's confusing. I think it makes more sense when you're a kid.
Because you just go, that ape's attractive.
You're like, what am I feeling? And why is it fun?
I take off the big ol' American Idiot lyrics poster I have on the back of my door, and I roll down my new door poster, which is
0.
So I watched all 5 of them, and I would say we're not. This is ape talk, but I would say sure. The more you get into all of them, because as I watched the original, and you go, that's it. That's all you need. Mm-hmm. And all these new ones, they still make sense for the most part. And then then you get into.
There's mutants.
And you go, okay, so and then they're telepathic, and also
they worship the bomb.
They name this ape. The biggest thing is they name the ape Caesar. He names himself, and you just go, no, then that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
he named himself after the old leader. So,
well, but even that, because these are so far in the future that Caesar, no one even knows Caesar existed.
Well, and the timelines is kind of changing itself.
That's the other thing.
But that's why they're so cool.
Yeah.
You get to it, and it's like they're making their own future. The intelligent apes have come back to the past to teach apes to become intelligent so that they can one day send them back to the past to teach apes to become intelligent so that one day...
That's why I was like, when I rewatched them...
It's sort of the J.J. Abrams Star Trek trick, where it's sort of like, these are different timelines.
Yeah, well, that's why I was kind of like, I kind of don't want the new ones to lead to these, because these are almost self-contained.
Mm-hmm. They make themselves.
Yeah.
And also you've got these people that are
cool.
reading brains. I like that.
The what?
Reading the brains.
Reading the brains.
We've been grown up to be with bomb, and you're like, you're kind of stupid. So you've got apes, you've got beneath, you got escape. Escape is good.
Escape is good.
And even someone else that watched them again who had said that's where they kind of get silly. He said, you know what? And I looked and I nodded.
In fact, I do.
They are good.
Yeah.
They send the apes back. Even though their explanation makes no sense, they do not explain it. I mean, they say, here's an explanation. A painter painting a picture of a painter painting a picture. They don't explain how they got back to the past, but what they do explain is how the apes will someday make their own destiny. Because I think they wrote all the last 3 together. Filmed them.
What's also because they come out like once a year.
Yeah.
And you're like, gee.
They did something with no money probably that Star Wars couldn't do.
Yeah.
Write the 3 together so the story makes sense.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they are good. Like they're pretty, like they're fine to great. Even those ones.
In Beneath, the second one, they show them a vision of the lawgiver.
Yeah.
Like as he's on fire and bleeding. And as I was watching it, I instantly went and found a toy of it to buy. Because I was like, I know someone's had to have made this.
Yeah.
This big statue that's bleeding. Like, the lawgiver, he bleeds.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just having fun.
What'd you think of the fact that they give a lot of... Well, maybe not a lot, but there's a lot... maybe not a lot, but there is a lot of hierarchy amongst the apes. Gorilla versus chimp versus orangutan. Interesting.
That's humans. And then I think he says at one point, because what does he do? Something happens. Oh my goodness.
It's a lot of apes at once.
He's feeling anger. He kills, basically at some point, and this is a spoiler, but just listen to me. He kills another ape, or he kills another primate. And someone goes, what just happened? And a human goes, I believe he just became human.
Yeah.
And you're just like, these are awesome.
Yeah.
Like if this stuff was in the new ones, I'd be like, that's the best thing anyone's ever come up with.
Yeah, they're actually great.
And and I think it works self-contained too, just because the new ones I see now that they are hinting, like when they tell the story about how one ape finally said no.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
yeah, it's awesome.
So those are cool. I had a lot of fun with those. Just been a nice time.
Even in Beneath, when you like, you can't go into the forbidden zone or whatever, and then it's the mutants because but at first you're like, mutants?
Yeah.
Well, no, we're not doing. But then you get to why they're mutants because of the nuclear bomb
and when were these made? I mean, everyone was scared this was going to happen.
And they're worshiping the bomb. And then Taylor sets the bomb off.
And what's on the bomb? What symbol? You've got the Alpha and the Omega from War of the Planet of the Apes. You're just like, this is really all good. Taylor sets the bomb off, blows up the Earth, and then the end is 2 seconds. Like, somewhere in space, a planet's dead.
It's so insane.
And then it cuts to 2 credits.
Everything you know just exploded and died. The end of the movie. But what's also cool about them, kind of every movie resets to where you're like, they kind of show a little bit of the movie that just happened with a little new added context. And it's kind of cool.
It's funny to watch them in that order because I'm like, man, I just saw all this since like the first 10 minutes is the last movie.
Yeah.
But I also know they came out because I'm like, well, wait a minute. When these were coming out, you can't just rent a movie.
No.
Like you might have just seen it. Like you saw it last year at the theater.
Right.
So it needed to have some sort of.
Yeah. How did he saw the Washington Monument, right?
And then they go, no, stupid ass human. He saw the Washington Post. And then they show a big, there's a big newspaper in the ground. And he's like, they finally did it. They blew it up. They blew up the Post.
In that first movie, though, isn't Charlton Heston funny?
Yeah.
Everything he says is funny.
Just the way that acting was.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's our greatest actor. And he's just like, you little lady. You nasty little lady. I ought to come down there and get you. Everything is
I think I could come to love you.
I know it's like the script because, yeah.
You don't even know what love is. You're just a filthy, filthy animal.
Just his thoughts out loud.
Yeah.
You don't even realize I'm talking to you right now.
And even to his friends, he's like, you dolts, you don't get it. We're in the future.
Everyone you know and love is gone, obliterated. And so what? Who cares if they are? Did man ever love man?
Guy's like, I had a wife, kids. Yeah. You don't anymore. They're gone just like everything else is gone.
And they also knew they were going to be in the future.
Yeah.
Because he's like, it's been 6 months for us. Just talking to himself, everyone else is asleep. For according to my calculator right in front of me, that's 700 Earth years. Everyone is gone. Then he gets there and he's like, it's been gone even longer than we think, you dumb idiot. And then they do it again in the second one with the other guy. And he's like, that guy's like, my wife and kids, and he thinks about it and dies. His wife and kids are 700 years dead.
Yeah.
They're just good stuff.
But they are good. And it does. I've been reading old, like 1960s and 70s, old sci-fi, the old paperbacks that were $1, you know?
Yeah.
Just like kind of random ones that I find. The amount of ideas that these freaks were just putting in this stuff, we're just like, no one's doing this anymore.
I was looking at 2001: A Space Odyssey because of these. Mm. This came up in conversation how Arthur Clarke wrote the book sort of in tandem with, like, it wasn't a book first.
Yeah.
He actually wrote it kind of with Kubrick, and he's like, well, I've got some stuff you can't put on screen, baby. Yeah. So he's like, writes it all down. So you get more information from the book than the movie.
Yeah.
And then he wrote 2 more. Mm-hmm. And when you look at what those are about too, and he's like, so humans basically become computers working with like stuff that just like becomes, he thought of this and now it's real.
Well, even I found the Planet of the Apes book by Peter Bouls or whatever, French guy. Mm-hmm. And I started reading it. It's crazy.
And it's different, right?
It's different. Yeah. And like it starts crazy. It's even it is so, I don't know. I just love that old thing where they're like, they're just whatever insane idea you can think of once you start having weed or whatever. Like what they learned of LSD in the 60s and like having sex with more than one person. And they're like,
open their eyes to so.
What if a planet of dogs? What if a planet of dogs?
Think about that and then just go with it.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do.
It's a spaceship, but it's like a pirate ship, and the sails open because of the sun. And actually, they don't count speed; they count time, and
it's called Dog City.
Well, anyway, what else did you watch? We of course said last week that you have so much.
Well, I returned to another kind of mythical world that I didn't plan on returning to. As much as I loved the last film, this one, I saw the trailer, I wasn't planning on returning to this world. Do you know what world I'm talking about?
The bright sand dunes of Thunder Road, Mad Max world.
Well, hello there, how we doing then?
I haven't seen any of them.
Get on the road then. Where are you going so full of hope? There is no hope.
Tom Hanks is in that?
Wilson! That's what he'll be remembered for. Everyone just loves that he had a ball.
I cried when that thing went off.
Wilson, where you going, mate?
I cried like a baby.
This isn't flying. It's falling with style. You haven't seen Fury Road?
No.
Wow.
I haven't seen any of them. The originals.
Okay, I never saw the originals because...
No need
because they are I was reading a huge article about the continuity and George Miller's like, there is no continuity.
Right.
Where are you going with your continuity? Mm-hmm. It doesn't really matter. The guy that's in the first one who plays Toe Cutter, he plays Imperator Joe in the new one or in Fury Road. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Different guy. Mm-hmm. He just likes the actor. And he's like, who cares? Max is Mel Gibson, and then this is 40 years in the future, but he's younger. Tom Hardy, and he's the same age. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And people are like, maybe he's a different guy. Like, maybe it's a title.
Sure.
And he's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, Fury Road's great. I would say to watch it just because it is a feast for your eyes, and it's typically, I think these are movies that are something that I probably typically wouldn't watch.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, so they love cars and they go fast. But there's so much stuff going on in it. And Miss Charlize is in it. And she's our femme de fatale. She's our beast without a leash. She is
Furiosa.
Yeah, and she's getting stanky with it. She's doing the stanky leg most of the film.
And they hated each other the whole time.
And he wouldn't come out of his trailer. So that was
Here's
whatever.
what I'll say. I had heard nothing but great things, of course. Yeah. Sat down to watch it with my dad. Mm-hmm. And about 20 minutes in, he said, I'm not feeling this.
I think I remember you telling me this.
Yeah. And I said, I'm not really either. So we turned it off.
Check it out. If you've got time to watch all 5 Planet of the Apes, you've got time to clean.
I think, I think,
because it is so much not.
I know I would like it, but.
And that's, I don't even know why I'm saying that, because I'm like, it's awesome. There's the doof master who plays the guitar.
Maybe that sort of stuff.
The rando stuff.
The imagery of like a guy shooting flames out of his guitar,
right?
Like just driving
it's
giant trucks. I'm like, it's cyberpunky and like
it's cyberpunk meets steampunk.
And neither of those are for me.
And then I was also like, I don't understand what Mad Max is.
Yeah.
I'll also say I've watched half of the original one now. Mm-hmm. I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's not even as crazy as the new ones. It's just a lot of Australian people being like, I want to run you off the road.
Yeah.
And then Mel Gibson kind of doing an Australian accent where he's like, I'll go to tell you something.
Well, he's Australian.
Mel Gibson?
Yes.
but he's not doing...
Yeah, I think he was...
No, he's not. Is Mel Gibson Australian?
Of Call in and let us know. But yes.
Isn't that Russell Crowe?
Well, him too.
There's no way they're both from Australia. Well, he doesn't sound Australian to me.
No, I think he...
We're going to look this up. I'm going to get there first. Wait, how many guilty counts is Gibson Australian?
Oh, no.
American-born Australian actor. Is Mel Gibson an Australian citizen? He's an Australian permanent citizen.
He's an American-born Australian.
I don't know what to do with this.
He's an American.
Because in the movie, he's doing a bad Australian accent. Why doesn't Mel Gibson have an Australian accent? Wait, what the hell?
In the United States, the actor's Australian accents were dubbed with American accents.
He speaks with a pitch-perfect native Australian accent in Mad Max. Maybe he does, and maybe I think Australian accents are the caricature of them.
Sure. Yeah, don't ain't a ball thing.
Little D, how you doing down there?
But we're talking too much about Fury Road.
Oh, okay.
Are you going to pull up a clip of him talking?
No, I've always just thought that he was
When
Australian.
he said sugar blank to that cop, was he Australian?
I think so, yeah.
Look what you did to Christ. I don't know, man. I mean, he's got the temperament of an Australian. Could we say that?
I'm just kidding to our listeners, Dan.
He's still looking.
He was born in New York of Irish descent.
But he's Australian born. Oh, American born Australian.
Gibson's paternal grandmother was Australian.
Okay. What is Mel Gibson's natural accent? What the hell is going on here?
Gibson is an Australian permanent resident.
Hold on. Mel Gibson.
Because that's what, that was one of his first.
He was like 23.
Gigs. Yeah.
He looks 40.
And he.
Would you 23, but you look 40? Let me skip this Expedia commercial. Hold on. This is a Waiver Hood commercial.
Oh, what's that?
Though he admits there was a time when it almost ruined him. What he is an Australian with an American accent, a down-to-earth, private bloke with a quirky sense of humour. He's also an actor prepared to take risks. In his latest film,
Get to Gibson.
Sort of act.
Yeah, I like to cover my assets.
I even set up the puns for you.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
He's not Australian. Well.
Anyway.
It's not that good in my opinion.
Okay.
He's just kind of like, did I ever tell you about I went to the store? But that all leads me to Furiosa.
Please.
My plan was to go see this new movie In a Violent Nature.
Yes.
And then you look at the sort of the Rotten Tomatoes, which is not my Bible. There's only one Bible, and it's the Trump Bible, and you can buy it very soon. It's going to come with my shoes, my dad's shoes. It's me, Trump Jr. So I was going to go see that, and then I saw, okay, it's one of these critics are giving it, 80%, and then you look at the audience score, and it's 40, and then you got people saying this is the worst thing I've ever seen. Yeah. Some people are saying it's very slow at the beginning, and I don't really care about that. I'm like, well, if it's the style of the movie, then I'm like, who do I trust? No one.
Yeah.
It's the red box thing of
you have
people
to trust
saying,
yourself.
this is the worst thing I've ever spent $1 on, or this is my favorite thing I've ever seen. There's no in between.
No.
But I said,
ain't that America?
If I'm going to go to this theater, I'm going to go to, okay? Because I'm going to use my $10.
He's got a voucher.
I've got a voucher, and I want to go to the big one, and I want to see the loud movie.
Of course.
And I said, well, wait a minute. Furiosa's got 90% on both lanes here.
People are loving it.
The critics are loving it. The people are loving it. But just no one's going to see it, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of didn't make any money. And I think part of that is it is confusing. Yeah. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga starring someone who's playing a different person. It just seems like if you don't know about movies,
yeah,
that's so the studio made this because people like the last one.
That's what's it's confusing to me why people are confused that it's not doing boffo at the box office.
Right. I barely saw any trailers for it.
And it's weird.
Yeah.
Like, people don't like weird stuff. Unless word of mouth says, like, no, this is worth it, which I think is what happened with Fury Road.
Yeah, because I don't know anyone that at 40, whatever that at the time, like 30 years after the originals came out, you're like, oh, Mad Max Fury Road is out.
Yeah.
You know, the Mad Max films, Thunderdome,
Right.
Road Warrior. And this is a new thing, but it's completely different.
Right.
Like none of that stuff, like there's these crazy things, but their budget was like whatever, $70,000. And now they're like, why don't you go to the desert and do the craziest thing anyone's ever seen? And everyone's weird and gross.
Yeah.
And it's Australian, so it's also like kind of a foreign film where it's like a weird.
Yeah.
It's just all weird. And then this one's like Remember Her, and then all of the visuals in the trailers are kind of weird.
There's
and
like
loud.
there's like a baby driving a car, and there's like
Chris Hemsworth with a fake nose.
Yeah.
That is actually, I was like, I gotta see that. He's doing something.
I do want to
different
see
here.
that.
Anya Taylor-Joy is always good and stuff.
Yeah,
So I was like, I like her, like him. I've got whatever. I'll go see this. It's like 2.5 hours.
Sure.
If I'm going to see it, I'm going to see it in a theater because it's not going to be the same watching it at home. And then I can go by myself. And if it is bad, I'm sort of like, well, I'm not. A lot of times now when I go to movies, there's also that thing of, I mean, always in my life, it's always if the person I'm with is not enjoying this and I think it's cool, then you feel dumb or you're just worried that they're not enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
Unless they are, and then you're like, okay, cool, whatever. But it is weird because it's like that last one, it was sort of an anomaly of like, this is a weird thing that came out and people really liked it. And then, but it's been 9 years.
Yeah. It's been it's been too long
which is also
since
weird.
then.
It's like been almost a decade since this thing came out.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
But then I found out, I was like, oh, well, George Miller wrote it and directed it.
Yeah.
It's not like a spin-off.
No.
And he actually wrote it before he wrote Fury Road.
Yeah.
And gave it to everyone to read to say, here's the backstory.
Bah.
Here's what you need to know. Some stuff was changed. Landon, this movie's awesome.
Woo-wee!
It's the best thing I've ever seen Chris Hemsworth do. Anytime he's not Thor, I'm always like refreshed by how good he is.
Yeah.
He did whatever Bad Times at the El Royale.
Yeah, he's
and
great.
he's like great in that. This is the craziest.
Great movie.
Everyone keeps talking about the nose and like he's got a fake nose. And who cares? You can't even tell it's him other than you're like, that's him. He's hot.
Sure.
But like the nose doesn't look fake. It's him doing a character, and he's like mean. He's very manipulative. He's really going in to like do everything the character needs.
Sure.
There's a scene that's like, I think it's 15 minutes long, one action scene that was shot over almost 80 days, which is
It's crazy.
and it's one scene of action where you know that basically two characters aren't talking the whole time. So just imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, for 3 months, every day you go to work to film the same scene. And it's like one piece where it's like, all right, now you need to crawl under the truck and that's going to take us 12 hours.
Yeah.
And you're in the desert.
Which is why all of the actors are like, it was harrowing.
Yeah. She's like, I'm never going to talk about this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm never going to talk about this again.
Truly terrible experience, but awesome movie.
And then also Chris Hemsworth is like, it's my favorite thing I've ever done. The way we were like, and I think Anya Taylor-Joy feels the same way, but she's like, actors are sort of weird. And if you're going to get into that character and be like, it's probably emotionally taxing. You're also in the middle of Australia for 3 months just for that one scene.
Yeah.
And you have the rest of it to film, which is also the craziest stuff. You've got, let me just pull this up. I mean, I would say obviously the one to see out of the two is Fury Road.
Yeah.
And there was a lot more CGI happening with this one, but you still can't. I still really don't understand how they make any of it. I don't know how this guy he wrote Babe.
Yeah.
Babe 2, Pig in the City, Happy Feet, Happy Feet 2, directed all of them. And then between those does Mad Max movies, like what he actually wants to do. I think he wants to do those too. It's just, I'm like, then in this, you've got Chris Hemsworth is Dementus. You've got Praetorian Jack. You've got Immortan Joe, and his sons. His sons are Rectus and Scrotus.
That's just,
and they just say it. He's like, I'm Rectus. This is my brother Scrotus. And we're going to come down there. And you're just like, what?
Yeah.
It's all just disgusting.
That's what it just doesn't. It's just like Garbage Pail Kids or something. It's like,
Maybe that's why I like it.
Yeah, it doesn't appeal to me at all. I mean, I want to see it,
But it all works.
But-
It's not in a way that it's like, it is gratuitous, but it seems like in a wasteland, and Chris Hemsworth's character sort of, I think, explains the best. Like where in Fury Road, you kind of just get like, these are these people.
Yeah.
This guy's got this weird mask on. She's doing weird stuff.
Yeah.
Her arm's gone. This guy's got his face caged up because he's Mad Max, obviously. And everyone's like, oh, yeah. This guy's the doof master, and he's the bugle boy who plays the big guitar. And you just kind of are in it. And this sort of gives you some of that where you get Chris Hemsworth's character's backstory a little bit. And you're like, oh, this is sort of, he's why all these people are this way. But then they're like, we got to get to Gas Town. It's where all the gasoline is. Or the guzzling, sorry. It's called guzzling. It's so crazy, but you can't.
But it works.
I can't help but have fun watching it. And maybe just the fact that it's not doing well too. I'm like, why aren't people giving this a chance? And I know that it's probably not going to be as good as the first one, but she's great. There's also not, she's in like half of it, and then there's a younger version of her in the entire first half. So no one's even talking about this kid that looks just like her that's in the first half of the movie, also putting up with crazy stuff. Then people were like, Chris Hemsworth is barely in the thing. That's not true. He's in the entire movie. I just don't. That's what I'm like. The reviews of people, I'm like, I don't trust anyone.
Yeah.
I just have to go see it for myself. And because I haven't seen the other one since it came out, like I just listened to, we hate to talk about other podcasts, but I listened to the Blank Check about it, the new 3-hour episode they did it with the guy that wrote the sort of book, the tell-all book about Fury Road. And they were sort of just going through like obviously, I don't know, that guy has seen that movie so many times. So they're like comparing it so much to the old one where I'm like, it doesn't really need to be.
You don't need to compare. It's a different beast.
It's that, yes, you can tell maybe more of it is happening like, there's still stunts and stuff going on. That's what I like about this stuff. I like action movies.
Yeah.
I like the scenes like the big set piece in this one, the big 15-minute scene where you're just like, how did anyone think of this? And everything is a logical story point. For 15 minutes, you're learning about her, you're learning about him, you're learning about what happens, like why the Fury Road thing happens. It's all great. It's incredible. And I went into it just thinking, well, I'll just go see it now because I'm not going to see it otherwise.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
now you're a Mad Max
I can't believe this.
head.
Yeah. Now I'm doing the Planet of the Apes where I'm going to watch the old ones, even though I can't hear what anyone says in movies from the 70s. They're all Australian. They're like, the toe cutter wants to know why you took out the roadman. And it's like, why does he care about the roadman? I love it.
You got your Max Headroom. Mad Max Headroom.
Gotta watch my Mad Max. But I would watch Mad Max Fury Road. I think that's the one to watch.
Yeah.
I haven't watched all the old ones, but I feel like they're their own thing. They're different than.
Yeah.
And it also seems like it cost like $300 million. Maybe, I think it did.
No.
But I just don't know. It's like, it looks like the most expensive thing you could ever film.
I think it was like 160, and it's not making that.
It's not making it back, which is infuriating because he's got a third one
in Furiosa
he wants to make.
It probably will make it back.
And it's broken into
Eventually.
chapters. It's like chapter 1, the immortal staff of knowledge. And you're just like, let's go. You're like, let's go.
Yeah.
Chapter 2, like Willy Wonka's Choco Bugger. And you're just like, let's go.
I think that's why. I don't know. Just the discourse around these movies turns me off to it so much. I saw a clip. Someone posted a clip from. I don't know how people get clips of movies that are in the theater because it's not
filmed in the theater.
No,
Yeah.
it was like, and I was like, but anyway, they're like, no one. It's insane that an 80-year-old man could direct this. No one else could have done this, and it was a scene. Like, it's a cool action scene. Probably what you're talking about. It was just like 30 seconds of it where it's like a steady cam shot. A guy shoots someone off of a tower, and he's like by a truck, and he like, and the camera's, on a little rig following him, comes around, watches him, and then it points up and he shoots some guy, and then it like pans down as he's reloading his gun and pans back up. I'm just like, that's a YouTuber could do that.
Different scene. That's not
Okay.
the big scene.
Well,
But that's also like when I think about someone saying that, because I also think like it is cool to see a guy's sort of singular vision where he's like, it is sort of like, why did they let him make this?
Yeah.
Like, why is there like the stuff you see in this, and it's also, you got to see it loud, because there's in that scene someone gets taken out by a sniper, and I like jump 10 feet in the air, but it's like Chris Hemsworth, and he's like, "Hey, they're coming out! They're coming to get us!" And you're just like, he's awesome.
Yeah.
He's just so cool in the thing.
Well, I think that's why I also haven't wanted to watch Fury Road just on my home TV, because I know I need to see it big and loud. I just don't know how.
I remember when they put it back out as like a black and white version, I always wanted to see that, because I was like, okay, because I liked it, but I didn't, and then somehow 9 years have passed.
But just like the hyperbole of everyone talking about anything now just pisses me off. So like, I fully support an artist seeing through his vision, whatever wacky thing it is. But it does feel like, at least the online spaces that I try not to participate in, except to be mad at people, are like just so hyperbolic about how great stuff is when it's not. Like, even Scorsese's latest was like, this is cinema, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, it was good. But why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Because no, there are better movies than that. This is the greatest film I've ever seen, and no other director could do this. We did a scene like that. The one I saw of Furiosa. And I know it was 30 seconds of a bigger scene, but why pull that clip?
Yeah.
I
don't know.
Why pull that clip and say, this is the greatest action scene I've ever seen? We've seen better action than that. You
see better action than that in that movie,
I'm sure.
Or Fury Road.
It just boggled my mind that, like, because I know those movies are built on huge stunts and like awesome real stunt work.
That's where they get me.
But why pick that clip?
And go like, only in, like, it's crazy an 80-year-old could do a guy reloading his gun.
And only he could have done this. I've seen, and like I said, we've done stuff like that in like high school.
Yeah.
Where, okay, and then the camera follows him down as he reloads his gun, and then pans up to see the guy he shot. And then like it swoops around to Furiosa, like watching it through a little gate or something. I was like, that's it? That's the scene that I know there's better stuff. I haven't seen the movie. I know there's a better action scene than that. So it's just the everything has to be great or terrible. And it bothers me that there
is no nuance to anything.
No.
Especially like that, where I think someone's trying to be like, I'm the one that understands this.
Right.
That's what, like it's crazy that an 80, like, and you go, yeah, it is. Because when I watch it and you think of like, they had a hard time filming this. Yeah. There's an 80-year-old guy out there the whole time going to set every day.
That is crazy.
And you go, that's crazy also that he's weird and whatever. But it's like, it's the X factor of it all. Look at this thing someone's doing, and the plebs can be. This
like
came
you're
up
saying,
in that Blank Check episode about the new Francis Ford Coppola movie, what is it? Megalopolis?
Yeah.
Is that it?
I think so.
And they're like at Cannes, sort of this discourse of like, and they're like, I think it got away from him. And he's like, if you explain the idea of the movie to someone, you go, that sounds awesome. They go, but what you're seeing, you're sort of getting the people that know he directed The Godfather,
Right.
saying this is a masterpiece,
Right.
when what you're seeing is a very messy,
Yeah.
like it's not doing what he wants it to be doing or what it should be doing.
Yeah.
And you've got the Scorsese thing of he's our greatest.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to do that.
No. I just don't.
Because it turns you into like, I think I'm a film person.
Yeah.
But it's like, then be discerning about, you can make a great film, you can make a bad film.
Yeah.
You're just a person that knows how to do something.
Yeah. And then you can just be intellectually honest about if it works for you or not. I just don't, I hate yeah.
I'm not going to watch Happy Feet again.
But then, yeah. And even as a joke, I've seen people like, the man who wrote Babe, his masterwork, Babe. Like
This is like, I didn't even know. Maybe that's why you're on the end of
yeah.
where I am sort of checking out from that stuff, where I'm
Yeah.
just like, because I
It's
do
the right thing to
I do
do.
what you do. I get mad about it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I heard it's not doing well. So that's where I was.
Yeah.
And then I just sort of saw, oh, well, it is getting good reviews.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, why? Like, it probably is good.
Yeah.
So then I went and saw it just sort of in my own vacuum of,
Yeah. That's the right. I got to get offline. There's too much discourse about movies and that's not, who cares? And then you get into,
but then I'm like, I care because I want to do that.
yeah.
And then it's like, when I think about what are the movies with great action scenes that I like Indiana Jones or something, this is doing 10 times better than what I wanted from the final Indiana Jones movie, which I knew would not have Harrison Ford, doing all this crazy stuff. But I'm like, this is what I want. And so much of it, a lot of it's physical stuff. I'm sure a lot of it now is CG. And they said like, I mean, I know he also said a lot of that CG was just like, we filmed this over 80 days. The sky's the same because it's a 15-minute sequence in a day.
Right.
It's like, so the sky's fake the whole time.
Yeah.
He's like,
Has
we
to
can
be.
do that now.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I don't care.
Sure.
Like, I just still don't really know how you're doing everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's got these it's a good story.
Okay.
There's more story to this one than the last one because there's that prequel thing of people like, well, we know how her story kind of ends or where it goes.
Yeah.
But I'm like, there's enough happening in different places where it's like, I'm enjoying, it's the ape thing of like, if eventually I understand what it leads to,
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the mythology of it.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what this is. It's like mythologizing who Furiosa is and where she came from.
It's cool. I'll check them out. I
Check 'em
really
out.
will.
I think it's just for the Chris Hemsworth is awesome.
And I always wanted to go back and watch the originals because I loved Mel Gibson, Lethal
Someone
Weapon.
edit that, please.
Lethal Weapon, some of my favorite movies. They're so fun. And he's great in them.
Yeah.
He's a great actor. I'll say that. He probably still is. I haven't seen anything that he does because now he does like straight to DVD action movies and like one where he played Santa Claus, I think. But
Daddy's Home.
yeah.
Yeah, he's interesting. He hasn't done much. I think I'm getting to the part in the first one where like I think he's gonna become Mad Max. And you go, okay. Because I think a lot, but like those have a lot of that 70s like action where it's like cars are getting destroyed and explosions and all this stuff. So they're fun because they're kind of crazy. And it just seems like a guy that really just had this idea.
Yeah.
And they put together this sort of crazy low budget film.
It's like the original Gone in 60 Seconds where it's just a guy driving a car through the city for like 40 minutes. You're like,
Well, I'm glad they remade that.
yeah. Me too.
But maybe, I don't know. I'm not even like you gotta. I'm just like they are good.
Yeah.
Against what you're saying, against my like these aren't the things I watch. But then I'm like, am I wrong? No, because I've seen other things like that. I'm like, I don't want this. But they're not actually like the steampunky weird.
Yeah.
They're just kind of good movies.
Yeah.
And then the more I learn about how they're making them and sort of his idea behind.
I'll check them out.
And what'd you watch?
Oh, I will say one.
Okay.
Did you have more? You have a whole list.
No, I had coffee shop stories, but we might not have time for them.
No. Oh my God.
Oh no!
Two long episodes.
Who up furying may Osa with us?
I watched one called Eileen, based on the Otessa Mogessa book.
Which I said, if you do that, you have time to clean.
That's right. It's a 2023 film with Anne Hathaway and some other little pipsqueak. And of course, what is her name? The Otessa Moshfug. The sort of she writes these books that are kind of like kind of slightly creepy, but typically about like a woman kind of discovering herself in a strange way.
I'm seeing that this is listed as a thriller / mystery.
It's not quite. It's kind of in the realm of like an 824 where nothing really happens until the end. But I enjoyed it. It's great. I liked it a lot. Anne Hathaway's great as always. Anyone who was saying she wasn't great there was a few years on the internet where she was public enemy numero 1.
Sad what we do with our heroes. We lift them up just so we can throw them on the ground.
She's always been great, and she's great in this.
This seems like a wild Hitchcockian noir.
Yeah, I'd say. But it's funny in ways you don't expect. And
like someone smiles.
And it's a damn Christmas movie.
What?
Well, it's around Christmas. So you can watch it around Christmas if you want a dark black Christmas comedy.
If I wanted a Black Christmas, I'd watch the film Black Christmas.
Anyway, that's a good film. You should check it out.
I'll watch it.
Around Christmas. No, you can watch it whenever.
I don't think I'll wait.
Coffee shop story.
Wait, one is actually, you know what? One's kind of not a coffee shop story. One is just a place to get coffee shop story.
Huh. Should we wait?
No. Wait, should we? Well, I'll tell my short coffee shop story and then I've got a longer story. So I went to a coffee shop the other day on my way here actually to record.
Whoa.
And we just didn't have time to get it in. But go to the coffee shop, go inside, and you know that whatever brand most places use for their syrups, like
Folgers. Oh.
Was it like Torino or something?
Yeah.
Grand Torino. Mm-hmm. They've got their Torino syrups. And they are a place that they put them in their drinks, but they also have them on the wall, so you can like buy a bottle for $5 or whatever. Take it home. Take your sugar syrup home.
Mm-hmm. Drink it. Throw a straw in.
Throw a straw in there. Drink it up. Throw your condensed milk in there. I mean, whatever they can do to make us docile and dumb and just make us ready for the slaughter.
Yep.
So they've got the flavors up there, and they've got like raspberry and vanilla, and then I see one thing of there's a bottle of butterscotch, and I go, I've been to a coffee shop that's had butterscotch, and I was just going to get a dang coffee. But I go, you know what? I could get a latte and throw some butterscotch in there. And so I go, hey, you got that? And this is a place that still has the COVID sneeze guards up. Sure. That are taking over the entire counter. So I can't hear the guy. Yeah. And he's like, yeah. And I go, do you have the butterscotch back there too for like a latte? And he goes, he furrows his brow for those of you not watching the video, and he goes, and then kind of like looks around and then looks at it and sees it next to him being sold, and he's like, no, that's no, we're just selling that. And I was like, okay, so they have it. He's like, that's just to be sold to people as a flavor. But I was like, so you can't put it in a drink? And he's just like, no, it's being sold. So I was like, okay, so do you have like a small like iced coffee? He goes, we have a cold brew. It's like 16 ounces. It's the smallest. So that's $5. Yeah. And it's 6:00 at night. So I went, okay. Yep. So bye guys. Bye.
listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.